I'm just an ordinary beta, but after marrying an S-rank alpha, I somehow ended up living the dream life. My husband's never home, and I still have money to spend, shopping at the mall during the day, partying at bars at night, pure bliss. What I didn't expect was, one day, my arranged marriage husband dragged me out of a bar, and got me blacklisted by every club in town. Just when I was fuming and ready to confront him, I pushed open the study door, only to see an entire photo wall of me, some with clothes, some without. He was sitting in a chair, holding a pair of restraints in his hand. If you like shaking it so much, come grind on me instead. 01. I'm Colton, a totally average beta, though luckily, I was born with a pretty face. That's how I ended up marrying Hudson, the alpha all the little omegas are obsessed with. Gotta admit, sometimes life is just that generous. You walk out the door and stumble on a jackpot. Originally, there was zero chance between Hudson and me. At most, when my darling little brother went to visit him, I'd tag along and catch a glimpse. But in this kind of society, betas don't get much attention. Most of the time, I was invisible. Because of my gender, my own family didn't value me. All eyes were on my younger brother, cuter, softer, more delicate. All the hopes of the family were pinned on him. They wanted him to land Hudson after he came of age. But who would have thought, I picked up the leftovers. Because, the day before Hudson finalized the marriage agreement with our family, he found out my brother was hooking up with his younger brother, and even scheming to knock Hudson out of the picture and climb to the top himself. Talk about digging your own grave. Still, the engagement had to go through. 02. So this once-in-a-lifetime good fortune landed on my lap. When I moved out, my brother was grinding his molars down to dust. Meanwhile, I was grinning so wide, my wisdom teeth probably showed. Colton, don't think you'll be smug for long. You're just a beta. There's no way Hudson will ever fall for you. It won't be long before he dumps you. Dallas stood at the doorway, eyes red, glaring at me. He'd thrown a massive tantrum in his room the night before, partly because he ruined the engagement with Hudson. Our parents weren't too happy either. Not that they were ever really happy with me, but for once, I was finally getting out of this cage. Oh, I'm still doing better than you. You better hold on tight to Logan, or one day he might just fall for some other soft, pretty little Omega, and then you'll be the one nobody wants. I shot him a deliberately mocking smile, not even a shred of guilt or worry. What? Like I'd be homeless if Hudson ever divorced me? Please, you. Dallas's face turned beet red with rage, and me, I was in a surprisingly great mood. Later, then, I got straight into the car, the driver politely opening the door for me. No wonder it's a top-tier family, the service was next level. Just imagining how pissed Dallas must be right now. Honestly, it only made me happier. When we arrived, I got even more good news. Hudson had gone on a business trip. Rumor had it, he flew abroad the very same day we registered our marriage. Even the housekeeper looked a little guilty, like even he thought Hudson was being a bit too cold. Oh, he's on a business trip. He didn't mention anything to me. 03. Perhaps sir didn't have your contact information yet? Fair enough. That part's true. Well, no big deal. I'm used to it anyway. Would you mind helping me get my luggage upstairs? The housekeeper must have really felt bad, because he quickly waved his hands and got it done in record time. God knows how happy I was on the inside. Isn't this exactly what people dream of? Husband out of the house, unlimited spending, shopping by day, dancing by night, bliss. When the housekeeper handed me the black card, I couldn't help but grin like an idiot. Turns out, leaving home does solve everything. Honestly, I hoped Hudson would stay abroad for a year or two, even if he found himself a sweet little Omega over there. As long as I got to spend freely, I could turn a blind eye. That same night, I called up some old friends and headed to my usual bar. They were pretty surprised I showed up on my wedding night. So, you're the one who's not up to it, or is he the problem? I rolled my eyes. Would you dare ask that in front of Hudson? Hell no. That's why I'm asking you. Isn't today your moving day? Technically your wedding night too, right? He's not even in the country. We signed the papers and he hopped on a plane. Who am I supposed to spend a wedding night with? No way. Don't tell me his overseas side piece had a meltdown, so he flew off to comfort them. How would I know what kind of mess he's got going on? If I did, would I still be standing here? Forget him. Let's drink. The truth is, I've never been as obedient as I looked. Back home, I just kept my head down to avoid trouble. A quiet life in exchange for hiding who I really was. Worth it, honestly. 04. After a couple of drinks, I made my way into the dance floor and started moving with the beat. In the process, I also had to slap away a few wandering hands. Alphas these days, really getting less and less picky. They'll even grope a beta with zero pheromones like it's nothing. There were too many creeps out tonight. Totally ruined my vibe. So I got off the stage and headed back to my seat. Not having fun naturally put me in a bad mood. I'm definitely filing a complaint about this bar later. Can they not tighten up security a bit? Let people enjoy their night in peace. Just as I was grumbling, a notification popped up on my phone. I frowned and opened it, and froze. Hudson, why was he adding me at this hour? Even though I was confused, I still accepted the request. A message came through right away. Hudson, where are you? Me, home. Obviously. Where else would I be? Total lie. Of course. But while I was lying with my fingers, my body had already started moving. What? Is he doing random location checks now? When no follow-up message came in, I figured he was just asking casually. But the next second, a photo came in. A very familiar environment. And a zoomed-in subject. Shit, that was me. I scanned the bar like crazy. No sign of Hudson. So who the hell was snitching on me? Before I could figure it out, my phone started vibrating again. A video call from Hudson. I was screwed. I jumped up from my seat and bolted straight for the door. Ran until I found a quiet spot. Only when I caught my breath did I answer the call. The second it connected, I instinctively held my breath. On screen, Hudson was wearing a robe. His collarbones and chest were partially exposed. His face was sharp and handsome, even if tense. And his voice, though low and magnetic, carried zero mercy. Colton, you've got some moves. Lying comes naturally too. Ha! Are you asking to be punished? 05. Even though he wasn't right in front of me, the way he spoke still made me shiver. More importantly, isn't this man a little too controlling? What does it matter to him if I go out for fun? Sure, we're married, but deep down, we're practically strangers. We've just seen each other a few times, nothing more. Thinking about that calmed me down. My nerves from earlier faded away. Oh, so what? Hudson's expression shifted instantly, like he couldn't believe what I just said. What did you just say? I said, so what? You gonna hop on a plane right now and fly back just to drag me home? You're getting older now, can't keep up with us young folks. Next time you've got a free weekend, I'll bring you out to have some fun too. That's it, I'm busy, bye. Before Hudson could say another word, I quickly hung up. My heart was pounding like mad. I didn't know if it was because of what my friend said earlier, that he might have flown abroad to see some side lover, or if I was just plain crazy, but I actually snapped at Hudson. Wow, guess I'll be kicked out first thing tomorrow. Damn it, Colton, you've really lost your mind. But what's done is done. No point trying to backtrack now. So I turned around and went back to the bar. Might as well enjoy the night while it lasts. 06. Except, I couldn't get back in. What do you mean I'm blacklisted? The security guy at the door nodded. Yeah, just now. Boss's orders. I clenched my teeth. Instantly thought of the phone call. Damn it, unbelievable. No wonder he had that photo. Turns out the bar owner's basically his informant. Well, if I can't go in, guess I'll just head home. Lying on that big soft bed, I stared up at the ceiling. The bed was amazing. First time sleeping here. Probably also the last. Given how I talked to Hudson today, I wouldn't be surprised if he flew back tomorrow just to file for divorce. But hey, I managed to survive in my twisted family for this long. My one redeeming quality, thick skin. Or maybe I was just exhausted from all the dancing. Anyway, I fell asleep quickly. In my dream, Hudson did come back from overseas, tossed divorce papers in my face and said, "Let's get divorced, and return everything I gave you." Then the scene changed. Dallas was standing off to the side, smirking at me, telling me how I never knew my place, that I'd always be poor and pathetic. I was so furious I started yelling at him, calling Hudson stingy. Like seriously, who asks for their stuff back after giving it? And he calls himself a CEO? No wonder he's rich. Probably squeezes every penny out of his employees too. I was mid-rant in my dream when a familiar voice, both distant and near, rang in my ears. Colton, you've got guts. Ha! Even cursing me in your dreams? And then, the sting of a slap on my cheek literally woke me up. 07. First thing I saw when I opened my eyes, a ridiculously handsome face, right up in mine. Honestly, if it weren't Hudson, I'd probably be very happy. I shot upright in bed. If Hudson hadn't dodged fast enough, we'd both have matching forehead bumps right now. You're back. Hudson was wearing soft loungewear, looked like he'd just showered, his hair was still damp. He no longer had that cold, sharp vibe he usually carried at work, though maybe that's also because I'm a beta and can't sense alpha pheromones. so I'm not affected by them. You said all that crap last night. What? You thought I wouldn't come back? I bit my lip, on the verge of tears. This man, petty doesn't even begin to describe him. He probably holds grudges more tightly than a banker guards his vault. Last night, I drank too much last night. Okay, everything I said was nonsense. Please just let it go. We just registered last week. If we divorce this week, it's gonna look really bad, you know. Ugh, people really do have to face the consequences of their actions. The cockier I was yesterday, the more pathetic I am today. Colton, yeah, you've changed a lot. Hudson's words threw me. He said it like he used to know me well. How would he even know what I used to be like? But before I could ask, Hudson stood up. No wonder every Omega in the city dreams of marrying him. Even his height was intimidating. He looked like he could lift me with one hand, effortlessly. Get up, we're having breakfast. 08. After saying that, Hudson turned around and walked off. Was that it? Was he just going to let what happened last night slide? Maybe he wasn't as bad-tempered as everyone made him out to be. After breakfast, Hudson didn't leave. He just sat on the couch going through some documents. The whole vibe screamed he's waiting to talk to me about something. So I walked over, trying to read the room. You don't know how to greet someone. How was I supposed to know what to call him? Dallas always called him Hudson Gidge, Big Brother Hudson. But there was no way those words were ever coming out of my mouth. Call him husband? We weren't even close enough for that. Hudson's expression instantly darkened. Are you my employee? No. Then what's with this attitude? Anyone listening would think I work for you at home. Wow, he really had a talent for sarcasm. You had no trouble yelling my name last night. What? Your mouth doesn't work today. Sharp-tongued jerk. Alright, Hudson, was there something you wanted to talk to me about? Tonight, dinner with my friends. Oh, dinner with your friends? He looked like he'd expected that reaction. What? You got a problem with that? I didn't. Not really. But, didn't he? Wasn't it common knowledge that people in his circle were all laughing behind his back for marrying a beta? And now he was taking me out to meet them. This was no problem. Good. Then do what you're told. Okay. I was nervous the whole day, but the moment I saw the people in the private room that night, I relaxed a little. They didn't seem to be looking down on me at all. The guy standing furthest to the side even stepped forward to greet me. Nice to meet you, sis-in-law. Sis-in-law. He reached out to shake my hand, but Hudson beat him to it, grabbing my hand first. Sit. 09. So what was the point of bringing me if I wasn't even allowed to get to know them? Was I just here as decoration? Still, I obediently took my seat. The others didn't let the moment kill the vibe. Instead, they gave Hudson amused looks, probably because, with his personality, they didn't dare say much. People who can hang with someone like him usually have similar tempers anyway. And Hudson was arrogant as hell. No way his friends were saints. We thought you were drowning in wedded bliss. You never come out anymore. One of them teased from across the table, a playful grin on his face. Hudson placed a glass in front of me, not with alcohol, but juice. I tried to stop him from pouring it, but he shot me a look. One glance and I backed down. Once he'd finished, he finally answered the guy's comment. Looks like I haven't been busy enough at work lately. Just one sentence. And the guy's smile froze. Hudson, you think your wife likes hearing you say that? I blinked. Why was I suddenly being dragged into this? Even if I didn't like it, it's not like Hudson would care. But the moment that guy said it, all eyes turned toward me, like they were waiting for my response. 10. Waiting to see what the beta who can't get pregnant, the beta who could be divorced at any moment, would say. I thought about ignoring it all. If I stayed silent, maybe the moment would just pass. But someone clearly couldn't stand to see me get off that easy. Suddenly, Hudson reached out and grabbed the hand I'd been resting on my lap. Not just a simple grab either. He pried my clenched fingers open and slid his hand into mine, fitting our palms together, then casually squeezed my fingers. With a smirk and raised brow, he said, "They're asking you, do you like it?" This guy, seriously out of line. I didn't even need to answer. My face had already gone bright red. No one had a thicker skin than Hudson. I swear. Luckily, no one actually expected me to reply. Maybe they were afraid of pushing too far and ruining the mood. Alright, we didn't come here to watch you two flirt. Let's eat, already. Yeah. So what if you've got a wife now? I thought for sure you'd be the last one in our group to get married. Turns out you were the first. And to such a gorgeous spouse. No less. Exactly. With everyone teasing, my face turned even redder. I wanted to crawl under the table and hide. I looked down and saw Hudson still hadn't let go of my hand. I quickly pulled it back and shot him a glare. He on the other hand, looked completely unbothered. 11. He even happily picked up some food for me. The dishes here suit your taste. Try this. Even though I was still mad about earlier, I couldn't resist good food. I picked up my chopsticks and took a bite. And, well, no joke, this place was really good. Once I started enjoying the food, I forgot all about what happened earlier, and forgot to ask how Hudson even knew what I liked to eat. In the end, I was totally full, but I never figured out why Hudson brought me along tonight. After that brief introduction, he and his friends just chatted among themselves. Later on, the drinking started again. I wanted to sneak a couple sips, but Hudson caught me. He snatched my glass away and told the waiter to bring me a bottle of Wangzai milk instead. He even unwrapped the straw and stuck it in the bottle before handing it to me. Drink this. I glared at him, reaching out to pinch his side, but the moment I touched his waist, he grabbed my wrist. Hudson had clearly had a lot to drink too. His face wasn't red, but his eyes had a drunk haze in them. He leaned back in his chair and looked up at me, eyes slightly narrowed, like he was watching a kid throw a tantrum. You don't know that a man's waist is off limits? I knew exactly what he meant, but come on, it's Hudson. He didn't look like someone who'd actually be interested in me that way. 12. TCH, so you can mess with me, but I can't mess with you. That's such a double standard. Hudson didn't get mad. He just chuckled and kept drinking with the others. By the end of the night, most of the group was completely drunk. I was probably the only one still sober, but I wasn't responsible for helping anyone into their cars. These were all rich secondgents. Of course they had drivers. Everyone staggered toward the door, helping each other along. Hudson was still standing, but he didn't look great. His brows were furrowed, a rare expression for him. I walked over to him. You okay? Hudson was a beat slow in responding. Then he tilted his head and gave me a sudden smile. If I said I wasn't, would you help me walk? I glanced between our heights. Sure, betas are a bit stronger than omegas, but up against an alpha like him, no contest. Before I could even answer, Hudson spoke again. Kidding, I'm not drunk. I silently pulled my hand back and muttered an oh. But then, a second later, Hudson reached out and took my hand. He didn't even look at me, just grabbed it like he knew exactly where I was. Then said, trying to sound casual, still, better hold hands. Lot of people around, wouldn't want you to get lost. When the driver pulled up, I helped Hudson into the car first, then got in myself. Just as the door was about to close, someone stumbled over and blocked us. It was one of the guys from dinner. Clearly wasted, reeked of booze. I instinctively leaned further into the car. So, must be over the moon. Ha, marrying the one you like. How about giving me that plot of land as a wedding gift? The one I like. You mean me? 13. Before the other guy could respond, Hudson, who had been resting with his eyes closed, suddenly pushed him out of the car, bypassing me completely. Then, without a second thought, he shut the door smoothly, like it was no effort at all. If it weren't for the faint smell of alcohol on him, I'd swear he hadn't been drinking. After all that, Hudson told the driver to start moving. I cautiously shrank back a bit. The way we were sitting now felt kind of awkward. He was so close, our thighs were pressed against each other. I could feel the firm muscles of his thigh beneath those suit pants. He just released some pheromones. I said, oh, but I'm a beta, I can't smell that stuff. I honestly couldn't detect Hudson's pheromones at all. Even though everyone said they smelled really good, I wasn't sure what it was supposed to be. There was a brief silence in the car. Had I said something wrong? I could smell it. It made me uncomfortable. Right, with two alphas around, pheromones do affect each other. But did someone as high level as Hudson get affected too? Ah, okay, I'll be more careful next time. Are you feeling okay now? Hudson leaned back with his eyes closed, like he was resting, or trying to calm himself down. It's fine. He was drunk. Don't take what he said to heart. I froze for a moment, then realized he was talking about the guy who claimed he liked me. I never intended to believe that anyway. I know, how could you possibly like a beta? But don't worry, since we're married, I'll play my part well. If you ever find an omega you really like, just give me a sum of money and I'll leave on my own. 14. Though I said it casually, only I knew the bitterness burning inside me, and the dryness choking my throat. I turned my head away, not wanting to look at Hudson. Actually, the things he did today made me feel like maybe someone really did like me, but now I knew it was all just my imagination. I shouldn't expect so much. This is fine as it is. Suddenly, the person beside me reached over, grabbed my chin, and forced my face back toward him. Only then did I realize just how dangerously close we were. That kind of proximity felt like the next second he could kiss me. I tried to turn away, but but his grip was strong. My jaw hurt, but he didn't let go. What are you doing? Hudson's lashes lowered slightly. The car lights were off, so I couldn't see what was in his eyes. That made me uneasy, like I was losing control of the situation. I didn't like it. Since you said you'd leave on your own. Then, Hudson's fingertip brushed the corner of my eye. Why are you crying? Colton, are you sad? My eyes instantly watered. This guy could read everything without saying a word, but he wouldn't call me out directly. He just watches you struggle, waiting for you to admit it yourself. So mean. No, you don't like me, and I don't like you. How could I be sad? A flicker of displeasure passed through Hudson's eyes, but he quickly suppressed it. His lips curled into a teasing smile. You don't like me? 15. Hudson kissed me. It was just a soft, light kiss, but it was enough to completely shut down my brain. Even when I got home, went upstairs, and lay down in my own bed, I still hadn't processed it. How could he kiss me? Why did he kiss me? Did he like me? My fingers touched my lips. Before I could come up with an answer, the door to the room was suddenly pushed open. I stared blankly as Hudson, still in his comfy clothes, walked over and looked down at me. He had already showered, and smelled faintly of the same shampoo and body wash. What are you lying there for? Do you like sleeping like that? I was still a little dazed. What are you doing here? Hudson chuckled. Don't you know, there's only one room. If I'm not sleeping here, then where? One room. I sat up straight, stunned. How could there only be one room? At first, I had thought maybe this was the master bedroom, because it looked pretty big, but after looking around, I didn't see any of Hudson's stuff here, so I naturally assumed it was a secondary bedroom. Even a secondary bedroom should be this big in such a huge villa, right? But now I was being told this huge place only had one room. Well, not exactly. We just moved here recently. I didn't live here before. No wonder I hadn't seen anything that belonged to Hudson in the room. There were just a few pieces of clothing I assumed were for me. Turns out I was imagining things. 16. Then can't the housekeeper prepare you another room? Did he have to sleep in the same room? I refused to believe there weren't any other rooms in this villa. Hudson just glanced at me lazily, then walked to the other side of the bed and pulled back the covers. Lying down. If you want to bother the housekeeper now, wake them up, and have another room prepared for me. Go ahead. I really felt awkward. It was late, and everyone was resting. Colton, if I'm not mistaken, we're married, right? Yeah, and we didn't sign some kind of contract marriage, did we? No clause saying we can't share a room after marriage, right? No. Then why are you avoiding me? I bit my lip. Didn't he know? Well, even if I wanted to say something, I couldn't. It was just one night. Tomorrow morning, the housekeeper would get him a new room, or maybe I'd give up this room and move somewhere else. I could find some other place to stay. I'm not avoiding you. You go rest first. I'll go shower. Okay. Though I told myself it didn't matter, I still slowed down my shower. I hoped that by the time I came out, Hudson would be asleep. Luck was on my side. When I got out, he was already out cold. He looked exhausted, deep in sleep. I sighed in relief, quietly crept over to the other side of the bed, and slipped under the covers, trying to keep my distance from him. But no sooner had I settled in, Hudson rolled over and pulled me into his arms. 17. In that moment, my whole body froze. So was he really asleep or not? I cautiously called his name a few times, but he didn't respond at all. So, he was asleep, and the way he pulled me into his arms, was that unconscious too? Alright, I guess I can accept that. An alpha's embrace is actually very warm. It gives a strong sense of security, just what I needed. I found a comfortable position and fell asleep, completely unaware that after I closed my eyes, someone opened theirs, with a smile. The next morning, Hudson was already up. I didn't see him downstairs either. I asked the housekeeper and learned he had already left for work. Well, he really loves his job. Housekeeper, can you prepare a room for me later? I'll move to another room to sleep. The housekeeper's face looked troubled. After a moment, she said, but there's no bed in the other rooms yet. When we moved in, we only bought one bed, for the servants. The other rooms aren't ready. I was confused, but it seemed true. After all, the house looked very new, with no signs anyone had lived here before. But to have lived here so many days and still no beds in other rooms, that didn't seem right. Then go buy a bed this afternoon. Just have me reimburse you. Alright, I felt relieved when she agreed, but to my surprise, by evening, I still hadn't seen a bed in the other room. Was I going to have to sleep on the sofa tonight? 18. You really don't want to sleep in the same room as me? Hudson leaned on the nightstand. looking relaxed and lazy. I couldn't help stealing a few more glances. Beauty really is distracting. What I was about to say twisted into something else the moment it left my mouth. It's not that I don't want to. I just thought maybe you wouldn't like it. So it's better if we sleep separately. I don't dislike it. Ha! I looked at Hudson in confusion. There was seriousness in his eyes. I said I don't mind sleeping in the same bed as you. So drop your suspicions and just ask me directly if you have questions. His tone wasn't especially gentle, but it felt sincere. I stood there, silently sighing. Was I really overthinking everything, or was I just misunderstanding him because I was thinking too much? I thought about how his friends acted toward me at the party last night. Could Hudson actually like me? But I immediately rejected that idea. How could he like me? How could an alpha fall for a beta? Especially one from such a prestigious family. If it weren't for Dallas feeling Hudson was too cold to him and therefore seeking out Hudson's brother, this marriage wouldn't have ended up with me. I repeated that thought in my mind several times, warning myself not to hope for too much. This life was good enough. So that's how I began sharing a bed with Hudson. Though the most intimate thing every night was Hudson unconsciously pulling me close after we fell asleep. 19. Then the next morning, when I woke up, Hudson was already gone from the bed. It was like none of those nighttime moments had ever happened. But this kind of life was fine too. Even if I didn't have love, I had plenty of money. Some people, though, just love to find unhappiness when others are happy. When the butler told me Dallas had come to see me, my first reaction was, here to brag again, or to mock me. But since he was here, if I didn't meet him, who knew what he'd do? So I called him in. What do you want? It had been a while since I'd seen Dallas. He was looking better and better, definitely the type many alphas liked, plus that fresh, pleasant pheromone scent. Dallas always had plenty of admirers in our circle, just came to see what kind of life my big brother's living. Poor you, married but unloved, stuck at home every day in an empty house. You might as well have married a beta. Dallas was full of bragging. Usually, I wouldn't argue with him much, but today, I really wasn't in the mood to hold back. What does it have to do with you? Feels good to get caught cheating. Ha! Your parents let you out so fast. Must really love you. Yes. When Dallas was caught, it was a mess. Many people saw him lying naked in Logan's arms. The heavy pheromones in the room made many eyes redden. At that moment, I was glad I couldn't smell pheromones. 20. Afterwards, the scandal became widely known in the circle. Dallas didn't dare go out for days, but not long after, he was back outside. Guess he really did have a thick skin. Sure enough, when I mentioned it, Dallas's expression changed. You really think Hudson likes you? He just got mad that I'm with his brother and married you on purpose. Watch, he'll divorce you soon enough. Sometimes, I have no idea where Dallas's confidence comes from. I don't see any sign Hudson likes him. Whenever they meet, Hudson's always cold. How could Dallas come up with this? You've got some nerve. Hearing me insult him, Dallas got furious and stood up, ready to slap me. If I got slapped now, my life would be pointless. So I quickly grabbed his raised hand, aiming to slap back. But right at that moment, Hudson came back. He stood at the doorway, looking displeased. Go ahead, try hitting me. Dallas immediately smirked, triumphant. See, I told you, Hudson likes me. Hey, you dare hit me? I slapped him anyway. Did I listen to Hudson? Ridiculous. After slapping, I smiled provocatively at Hudson. I did it. What? You gonna defend him and divorce me? Hudson locked eyes with me for a long moment. My eyes stung. Then he stepped forward, stood in front of me, and took my hand to look at my palm. Slapping doesn't hurt. Didn't you think of grabbing something? There's a baseball bat right next to you. Didn't you want to use it? Idiot. 21. Hudson's words not only stunned me but also left Dallas speechless beside us. If the occasion weren't so inappropriate, I honestly would have wanted to throw an egg at him. What do you mean? I tried to pull my hand out of Hudson's grip but failed. He held on tight. Anyone seeing this would think I was the one who just got hit. Hudson frowned deeply. What do you mean? Do you want me to defend him? He looked up at me, and I couldn't quite read the meaning in his eyes. Maybe because I didn't want to guess. Hudson, don't call me that. I don't have another brother. What are you doing here? Dallas was scolded, and tears instantly welled up in his eyes, like he was about to break down. My brother's skill at fake crying was pretty impressive, and every time it looked totally real. No one could tell the difference. I came to visit you, but you probably don't like me. I hadn't said anything and you already hit me. I don't understand why you hate me so much. Oh, you know he hates you and still go to make trouble in front of him. Are you doing this on purpose? Yes. Wait, no, that's not what I meant. Hudson gave up on continuing the argument and waved his hand dismissively. The butler nearby was quick to step forward. Get him out of here, and don't let him back in without my permission. Understood? 22. Yes, sir. Dallas didn't want to leave but had no choice. He was escorted out. Once the living room quieted down, I took the chance to pull my hand free. Why was he holding my hand anyway? It felt weird, honestly. Since we got married, everything had felt strange, especially Hudson's attitude toward me. I remembered he didn't treat me this well before. He was always so cold when we met. Had he changed? I thought you'd help him out. Hudson sat down beside me. Why? I pouted a little, annoyed. Why else? You used to like him, right? Even if he cheated on you with your brother, you wouldn't have gotten over it so quickly. I know you married me to get back at him, but now that he's seen your good side, are you planning to? Colton, why don't you write novels? I think you're really good at making things up. Who told you I liked your brother? I was stunned. The words I wanted to say got stuck in my throat. Wasn't that true? But before, did I ever treat him specially? Well, no, not really, but many alphas like him. Hudson seemed angry. He spoke through clenched teeth. If they all like him, does that mean I have to? I like a beta whose pheromones I can't even smell. What's wrong with that? 23. I didn't really understand why Hudson's emotions suddenly spiked, but my rational side told me to calm him down. Otherwise, I'd be the one in trouble later. So, you like me? Hudson gave me a helpless look, as if I were a fool, and then sighed deeply. I shouldn't have had such high hopes for you. And with that, he went upstairs. What? Why leave without explaining? Before I could figure it out, the butler returned. Seeing me still sitting there, he asked what had just happened. Since I was confused, I decided to let someone else think it through with me. After I finished telling him everything, the butler gave me a meaningful look. Have you ever thought that the master liked you a long time ago, and maybe you just never noticed? From what I know, he had an important meeting today, but when he heard your brother came to see you, he immediately rushed back. If, as you say, he had no feelings for you, he wouldn't have done that. I lowered my head, my mind in chaos. Everyone's sensitive about feelings. It wasn't that I didn't notice his special treatment, but I instinctively thought, I'm just a normal beta. He definitely wouldn't like me. I knew how much ridicule there was in our circle over his marrying me, so how could he possibly like me? I get it. I know what I need to do. I headed upstairs, pushing open the door. I heard water running in the bathroom. 24. He was taking a shower. I thought about a lot of things, then pulled back the covers and slipped inside. Matters of the heart are really confusing, part happy, part troubled. As I thought, I started feeling sleepy, but as soon as someone else lay down on the bed, I was instantly alert, waiting for Hudson to, as usual, pull me close. But unfortunately, he didn't move. Was he really angry? But he was like a mute, not telling me anything. We're married, after all. Since he wasn't holding me, I quietly shifted and snuggled into his arms, then reached to place his hand on my waist. What are you doing? Comforting you. Colton, your way of comforting people is to deliver yourself into my arms and make me hold you. So who's comforting whom? Well, that was the best I could come up with. Hudson, I was wrong, but you know I've never been loved before. I'm just a bit slow when it comes to love. Isn't that normal? And you never even showed me you liked me. Still making excuses. Hudson pinched my cheek. It hurt, but I endured it. Fine. If it makes him happy, a pinch is nothing. You think I treat Dallas specially, so why don't you think my attitude toward you is special? Do you? Colton, do you know every time you come to my house, the gifts I give you are carefully picked, but Dallas's gifts are always just thrown together. 25. I really didn't know that. And someone here acts like they've seen a ghost every time they see me, as if I might eat you up. You're fierce, and you've got so many admirers. If I get too close to you, they'll curse me out. Hudson chuckled. You always have an excuse or reason for everything. Actually, you just don't like me, so you've never been kind to me. Alright. If everyone's smart, they'll understand without being so blunt. No, that's not true. You were cold-faced first. That's because you avoided me. Okay. That was my fault. I admit it. Can we move on? Colton, from the start, you were the one I was supposed to marry. It had nothing to do with your brother. Oh, got it. Under the covers. His hand grabbed mine tighter. He pulled me closer. I don't care if you're an Omega or not. I'm actually glad you won't suffer through heat cycles. Then you won't have babies later. That's fine. Having you is enough. The first moment I met Hudson years ago suddenly flooded back. Maybe the feelings were there all along. But after years of everyone insisting otherwise, I gradually believed he belonged to Dallas. I shouldn't have thought that way. Looking back, all the avoidance was just me suppressing my feelings. Only I knew how excited I was the night this marriage fell onto me. Hudson, I think I like you. Next time, say you love me. Extra. 1. Hudson's possessiveness is downright scary. Ever since he caught me at the bar that time, he's been acting like he's lost his mind. No matter when I go out for social events, he has to message me. If he finds out I'm not home, he rushes back to grab me. It's really annoying. Though he catches me every time, there's no way I'm just going to sit back and accept it. If he blocks me, I find another way. If he forbids me from going, I still go. Besides, sometimes he's on business trips abroad. What can he do if he discovers it then? Most of the time, Hudson is at a loss against me. You really like going to bars? Ha, well, it's okay, but you know I don't have a job. Staying home all day is boring. If you don't let me go out, are you planning to suffocate me at home? Hudson almost laughed angrily. I'm only stopping you from going to bars. Since when have I stopped you from going out? Colton, I think you just deserve a good beating recently. Look at you, last week you were calling me your little treasure, and now you say I deserve a beating. Men really change fast. I said this while shaking my head and sighing. Hudson didn't seem to care at all. He sat back in his chair, watching me perform. Before he could say anything, I got bored myself. Colton, if you're really that bored, come be my assistant. I travel a lot, and you'll come with me everywhere. Let's see if you still want to be cooped up then. Realizing Hudson might actually make that happen. 2. I quickly surrendered. I was wrong. I won't go anymore. Okay, just don't make me your assistant. If I have to travel with you every day, I'm pretty sure my days are numbered. Hudson chuckled. And that was the end of it, for now. Or at least I thought it was, because when I tried to sneak out again, I found out I was blocked by every bar in town. Big bars, small bars, even some had my photo posted right at the entrance. The message was clear, anyone could enter, except me. Seeing this, I was instantly furious. I went straight home and headed to Hudson's study. I rarely went there before, mostly because I was afraid that if some important files went missing, I'd be blamed. But this time, it was urgent. I had to solve it immediately. I pushed the door open, ready to give Hudson a piece of my mind, but instead, he shocked me first. His study was huge and not only filled with work stuff but also with photos of me, everywhere. It gave me chills. Some of them were even without clothes. What was he planning? Why do you have so many pictures of me? Hudson sat in his chair holding a restraint strap, the one the butler gave me during my last heat period. I never expected to see it here. He tapped the strap and stood up, slowly walking toward me. Went to the bar again. Babe, you really don't listen. If I hadn't warned them earlier, you probably would have slipped in today. Why can't I go? I'm not going there to chase men. If you were chasing men, do you think you'd still be standing here talking? I backed up, trying to leave the study, but Hudson caught my intent and wrapped his arms around me, lifting me off the ground. You said I should teach you a lesson, then let's start in the study tonight.